Hey everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya with a Smile. If you're watching this, hopefully that means you just came from my Fall Into Fantasy week-long read-a-thon vlog. So you already know, like, briefly what went down during the past week. Today I'm going to be doing a quick wrap-up as to everything I read during the past week for the Penguin Teen Fall Into Fantasy read-a-thon video. Just to recap, it was a read-a-thon where I basically had to just read as much fantasy as possible. And you know what? I feel like I was pretty successful. I didn't hit my 4-book goal. I got about 3 1/16 of a book done this past week. I'm proud of myself. I am proud of myself considering that I had to work and I had to just do a bunch of other stuff. I'm really proud that I was able to just like 3 1/16 of a book is pretty good. Okay, so the first book that I listened to the audiobook for, which I gave, I believe, was it a 7 or an 8 out of 10? I really enjoyed it, especially like the middle to the end. Like the last half of the book was fantastic. Three Dark Crowns by Kandare Blake, and this book was so good. This book was definitely worth the hype. I was really nervous going into it because so many people had talked about it, and I know a lot of you guys are reading it as well, which I'm excited about. So comment down below what your thoughts were on the book if you read it and completed it during this read-a-thon. Really, like for the whole first half of the book, we're following 3 different people, and it's almost like you're following 3 different stories. And I definitely had like one of the sisters that was my favorite. There was one sister in particular that was my favorite that I just loved reading from her perspective. But yeah, it's really interesting. We get these 3 different perspectives. In the beginning, I said this in my reading vlog, it was a little bit confusing because we were just like introduced to so many characters at once that I had to kind of like reread over stuff to kind of get everything organized in my head. I'm like, all right, so this person belongs to this person and this, okay. It was a lot, but once you know who everyone is and you get to about the halfway point, it really picks up, and particularly the ending was fantastic. And overall also the audiobook, like I said, I read it or listened to it in audiobook form, and it was fantastic. And that may have been partially why I struggled getting the characters sorted out a little bit. I will be continuing on to the second book in the series, which I'm not sure, I think I have somewhere on that shelf that's about to fall apart. Yeah, this one right there. All right, the next 2 books that I read and I finished today, because I'm filming this on the very last day of the read-a-thon, Beast Made of Night and Crown of Thunder by Tochi. They were so good, you guys. It's like a pretty short fantasy book. Each of these are under 300 pages, but if you want a really action-packed, like short fantasy book, like if you're someone who's kind of intimidated by fantasy but still wants to get into fantasy, I highly recommend Beast Made of Night. And I'm kind of sad that I'm not getting to read another book in this series because I read these 2 books back to back. But yeah, they were fantastic. The whole world, Tochi has an incredible talent of being able to really kind of slowly introduce you to this fantasy world that our characters are living in. I think one of the biggest problems with fantasy sometimes is like they just kind of throw you into this world and you either A, have to figure out what's going on, or they just like info dump and give you way too much information at once. But in this book, Tochi just does an excellent job at just like slowly giving you information that you need, to where it feels like you're not really having to have any severe mental strain to like figure out what's going on and like who's who and how the magic system works and all that. It was really nice to be able to read from a male perspective, because I feel like a lot of, well, I think fantasy books actually more so than contemporary are told from male perspectives, but I just love our main character. He was hilarious. All right, and last but not least, the 1/16th, the 0.11097 pi, I don't know. Last book that I got 50 pages into, and I will continue reading through tonight and until I finish it. This is my current read. 50 pages into Tower of Dawn, and holy camoli. Okay, so if you don't know, Tower of Dawn is the sequel, prequel, novella, not really novella, but actually like another book in the series of the Throne of Glass series. Is it number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is this technically 6th book in that series, I think. And then Kingdom of Ash would be 7. Okay, I could be wrong. Like, there's so many books in the Throne of Glass series. So you guys told me to read this book, and you guys said that there's a very important information in this book that I need to know, and literally 50 pages in, and it's like a whole new part of this whole world that I never like knew existed. A lot of you guys said that there's a lot of new characters in this book that you need to know and you need to meet because they're a big part of Kingdom of Ash. And literally I'm only 50 pages in, and I think I've been introduced to like 7 or 8 new characters, and I'm just like, I'm taking it in. The Throne of Glass series, I feel like once you get past Heir of Fire, it's no longer even young adult. Like, I would honestly like consider this to be an adult fantasy because the first 50 pages were so dense. It was adult fantasy. Like, the setting and the way she describes everything, it's like if you compare Throne of Glass, the very first book in the series, to this one, it's two completely different. It's like young adult and adult. I'm really excited. You know, Kale, who's the main character telling the story, he's not my favorite character. You guys know this. He was never my favorite characters in the book, which is why I didn't want to read this. But there's other characters you were introduced to. I'm like I'm like so bad. I'm sorry. It's like really late at night that I'm filming this wrap up, so I'm a little delirious. But anyways, yeah, so I'm 50 pages into Tower of Dawn, and I'm so bummed I couldn't finish it during the read-a-thon, but I'll finish it within the next 3 days. I'm 100% sure, because I am just back in this world now and I'm not leaving for a while. So anyways, that is all the books that I read during this read-a-thon. I hope you guys had a successful read-a-thon if you participated. I'm really excited to edit together this video as well as my wrap-up video, and just, yeah, I'm really happy because, you know, despite me not reaching my goals, hashtag life, I'm really happy with what I was able to read, and I read some great books, and I hope you guys read some great books too. Thank you so much to Penguin Teen once again for just like letting me participate and be a host in this read-a-thon and for sponsoring these videos and everything. So until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!